What to do?
What to do?
If this is you, you're getting there in maths, you feel you might pass, maybe you mightn't pass. I'm going to show you all the topics to revise to get the best bang for buck, the most amount of marks for this short space of time you have before the maths exam. Before I show you the topics, I just need you to know that revision right now at this stage is better than learning new topics. It's better to secure all the things you studied throughout the year than to try and learn brand new things right now. And before we go into the topics, revision equal writing. Revision does not mean reading over the notes and the questions that you do. And even in this very late 11th hour, write out questions and keep practicing doing the questions without watching. Otherwise, you never know if you really know. Alright, topics time. So it's a lot. So make a checklist and see how well you know all these topics. LCM, lowest common multiple, finding it with fractions, directed numbers, negative numbers, knowing how to use negative numbers in different operations, subject of the formula, also transposition, moving things across the equation, letters, numbers, finding the subject of the formula, very important. Substitution, can you substitute? All of these are the easy topics that you must know if you're trying to really get over that hurdle of passing maths. Functions, f of x, g of x. Do you know how to substitute in functions? The basics in functions. Can you do all the basics in functions? This is a question that you can get a lot of marks in if you understand. Pythagoras theorem, SOHCAHTOA. They're not next to each other, this fella in the middle here, but these two kind of tied into the topic of basic tricks. You should know how to do those. Grouped data in statistics is very popular right now. That's the table where you have the class intervals, frequency, and they usually go on to cumulative frequency and finding the mean and stuff like that. You should know how to do that. You're writing down these topics. You have to study them. You have to do the questions in them. Standard form, do you even know what that is? Approximation, decimal places, significant figures. Percentages, percentage increase, percentage decrease is extremely popular these days. Simple interest, compound interest as well, but compound interest normally comes with percentage increase, percentage decrease, and very simple in CSEC Maths. Higher purchase, finding for one. This principle of finding for one is almost guaranteed to show up in your exam somewhere, usually in consumer arithmetic. Inequalities and the number line, extremely popular these days. All the different types of factorization. You can look up all these topics with my name, Kerwin Springer, and type the topic on YouTube if you need a little teaching on it now. Exchange rate, that's also in consumer arithmetic. Finding the gradient, that's in coordinate geometry. Plotting points, that's in coordinate geometry. Indices, do you know the laws of indices? Do you know how to use them in algebra? Algebraic fractions, interior and exterior angles, the rules that surround that for shapes. Shapes and their rules and their names, shape theory. Alright, I want to give you a little more. Probably you kind of have those basic topics down and you want to get a little more marks in the exam. Let me go to some mid-level topics that you should get on top of. Quadratics, factorizing, solving. If you don't know how to do quadratics, the chances of you passing CSEC Maths is kind of slim. Completing the square formula method. I taught that last night in the live. Learn it. Simultaneous equations, can you do that? Series and sequences, this shows up in the investigation question in number 7. A lot of marks get passed here and a lot of marks can be collected very easy if you study this. Construction, geometry, and of course transformation. You know that comes in question 3. One of the easier big topics, the easier hard topics to get some marks in is matrices, especially the first part of matrices. So make sure you study that. Matrices, vectors, try your best at vectors. You can always scrape up a few marks in vectors. Vectors has one of the easiest questions in the whole of CXC and it comes almost every year. It's for 1 mark, but at least you could get that 1 mark. Go and research what that question is. Cumulative frequency, motion graphs, and coordinate geometry. Oh boy. So this is almost like a one-day revision study guide kind of way here, checklist. I hope this helps somebody to, just get over the mountain of CSEC Maths. What I'll do next is a video for students who feel they're going and get 1 and maybe you want to secure all A's, maybe you want to try for the merit list. I'll show you about 12 of the most neglected topics to study for that even some top students miss. Love and blessings.